Hello and welcome to the demonstration of the digital work order by Auction V-Commerce. We're going to be using Clark County Auto Auction's digital work order. First thing is you're going to want to add a vehicle to your work order. So you can either add a vehicle by just clicking add vehicle, and you also have the option to scan the VIN. So we're going to use a vehicle that's already in inventory here, and see, you can just populate all of the information by scanning it in. And now we're just going to save that. This is going to take us to our inventory list, but let me show you how to get there if you've already put the vehicle in inventory. I'm going to click home on one of these vehicles, and we're going to go back to our list, and you see the inventory list here. I'm going to click on that, and the first vehicle at the top is going to be the one that we just entered. If the vehicle was on the list and you had to search for it, you could just type in at the top of this report. We'll do this one, 807272, just to show you that it'll bring that right up. So I'm going to X out of that and return to my original search, and I'm going to add this work order. So the components of the initial screen are work order type. So we want to know if it's mechanic shop or body shop. We're going to make it mechanic shop. We can enter a mechanic in here. I'm just going to enter Trevor as our mechanic. You don't have to do that now. You can do that later. And later you're going to want to put in a department that you want to notify so that it appears on their screen. But we're not going to do that now because this work order is in progress. So I'm just going to click save, and it's going to populate a little dashboard for us to work from. And you can see on the top of the screen we have the date we created this. It's going to the mechanic shop, and Trevor's our mechanic. Also has the vehicle front and center. First thing we want to do is add a customer to this record. So I'm going to choose Auction V-Commerce as our customer. And you click done, and see how it populates all of the information that I have on file. If you don't have the information on file, you can always go into the customer record, add that information, or you can enter a phone number down here. You have the option to manually enter any of this information where you need to. So we want to add information about the vehicle. So maybe we want to add miles, stock number, lot number. We can also, once we do an inspection, who it was inspected by, whether it passed or failed inspection. We can add some additional notes. We can add information on parts. So if we're waiting on parts, we can put in the ETA or the date they were received and some notes on that. And you always have the option to update the status and notify another department. So that's the way we pass the baton as we go. So we don't really need to update anything on the vehicle at this point because we're just getting started. What I want to do is I'm going to skip the notify and print section there. I'm going to go to items because I want to add an item. Let's see. I am not a vehicle person, or a mechanical person, so I'm just going to come up with we're going to say bumper repair. And I'm going to want to put in a price there, so we're going to say it's $50. So you can see by the check mark next to items that I have an item that I've listed. So that shows me that I've already put something in that section. I can also see in the bottom right square that there's a price. That takes us to the estimate and work order screen for the final pricing. So I'm going to click on that. If I want to give a discount, I can put in a discount here. And I can put in the reason for the discount, maybe because it's a new customer or something like that. And it's also going to calculate all my other costs in here, and I can see that $50 is my total. What we want to do is select what type of document this is. So I'm going to make this an estimate. So our estimate total is $50, and we can fill out this estimate part. We're going to say that Trevor created this estimate, and we're going to say that we did it today. You can put in a time, you don't have to. Who's our customer rep and our customer email? Because we're going to want to email this to a customer. So I'm going to click same as on file because I already know that we have that information in there. And that's another good reason to make sure all of your customers have a primary contact and an email listed in their accounts. So I'm probably going to want to let the fleet lease manager know that I sent this if I'm not the fleet lease manager. So we're just going to put that in there. And we're going to leave this status as new because what we're waiting for is the approval from the customer. I'm going to hit save. And so when I go to my home screen now, you see there's a new button that says send estimate to customer. I'm going to click on that. Oh, I just got an email. Wonder who that could be. And you can see right here that I received my estimate. Whatever document type you select is what's going to be reflected. So you could send this as an estimate, you can send it as a work order, or you can send it as an invoice. So when you send it as an estimate, the difference is they have the option to approve or decline. So I'm going to approve this as quoted by me. And a little shortcut trick, I can put in T and that'll populate today's date by putting the letter T. So I'm going to save that. If I go into the estimate again now, and I scroll down, I can see that the document type is changed to a work order and then it's been approved as quoted. So at this point I can change who I want to notify. Well, it's actually, I automatically changed notify to the mechanic shop, but we can set the default for your auction, who should be notified. The more defaults that we set, the more the system does the work for you. So you don't have to rely on an individual to go in and make a change. So that's the great thing about digital workflow, is that the automation that's built in alleviates some of the burden from actual employees having to do the work. So it gives them more time to do more things that matter. So that's how you create a work order on your mobile device. Now here's some other cool things that you can do on your phone or your iPad. If I want to print the invoice, I can just click on print. You print. You see it comes out nicely laid out. Let me cancel that, and I want to go back to the work order home. So I want to go to the report. I want to show you what you can do just from within the report. I already showed you that you can search anything up here in the search field, so you can get right to the work order that you're looking for. You see that I was able to expand this section, so it says more or less, and I can expand so that I can see information pretty quickly. If there were notes in here, let me show you what it looks like when there's notes, because that's pretty cool. So let's put in a vehicle note. We're going to say that this vehicle has some mechanical notes. We're going to say that we need to order the part. And I'm going to save that. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my report. See the little vehicle that showed up there? That shows that I have some notes. And the cool thing is I can click on that little vehicle and it'll take me so that I can see the notes. And go right back there. So I can also see what the ETA is on the parts, if the parts were received, the VIN number, stock number, date received. Also, this is customizable for the auction, so if there's something that you need to see right away, the total's there. But if there's something else that you need in your immediate view, we can definitely put that there. You'll notice that this says high priority. Let's say that I wanted to draw attention to a department so that they understand that this is a very important customer. All customers are important, but let's just say we needed this one to stand out a little bit. I'm going to just click the button, high priority, and refresh that. You're going to see that now it's a high priority item. So that's it for the mobile. Let's move to the desktop. So this is what it looks like on the desktop, and I'm going to refresh because we added that new work order. So see, we have 2 that have been approved. And it's basically the same type of thing. It's just a different navigation. So I can go in and view this work order here. And you can see we have these tabs. And at the top we have all of our original selections from when we created the work order. So if I go through these tabs, you can see where you add your items and labor and parts, and then you create your invoice. These little drop downs let you see what that invoice will look like, and this is where you would change your document. This is where you would make it a work order, an invoice, or an estimate. So, and you can send it to the customer. And down here you have the information regarding who put in your estimate. And of course your customer information. All of your inspection notes. On your mobile device, this would be the vehicle section, which is also combined with the parts. It's also in the vehicle section on your mobile device. And then if you have some returned info for vehicles returned, you can add that information in here as well. So that's how you create a work order. As you can see, it's quick, it's easy. If you need any assistance, you can go back to the home page here and visit this help center right here. So that concludes this tutorial, and thank you for joining us.